I'm Andrea Giles, and you're listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, episode number 176, Turning Intense Moments into Growth. Hello, and welcome to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, where courageous women learn not only to heal from their spouse's betrayal, but to become the boldest, truest, most decisive, and confident versions of themselves ever. If you know there's more for you than the life you're currently living, but don't quite know how to get there, you are in the right place. Stick around to learn how to create a life that will knock your own socks off. Is it possible? It is, and I'm here to show you how. I'm your host, Andrea Giles. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Before I jump into the content for today, I want to just remind you that if you are not in my program, now is an excellent time. On February 11th, I am hosting an all-day virtual retreat. It's going to be 9 to 4, all online, amazing content, amazing guests that are coming. It's going to be all about learning how to get out of our own way, essentially, so that we can call in and claim the things that we are meant to have, how to stop self-sabotaging, how to let go of the painful stories that continue to hurt us, so that we can call in the things that we really, really need. So if you are not in, come get in. If you want a guest pass to this class without joining the program, that is also available in the show notes. You can grab a one-day pass. You'll get access to the group for this day and to this call. You also get access to a call replay. So if you know that you can't come to the whole call, you will have access to the replay and can watch it later. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. All right. I'm going to begin by sharing with you why this episode came to be. What was it that inspired this episode? So a few weeks ago, I went skiing with my family at a place that I have never been skiing before. First of all, a little background. I went skiing for the first time in my life when I was probably 17 years old, maybe 16. And I only went once. And then when I was engaged to my first husband, we went skiing maybe 2 or 3 times, and then I didn't go again for something like 18 years. So I skied again. This was like maybe 10 years ago that I skied again and have gone a handful of times since. So I am by no means a great skier, but I really, really like it. I really love it, actually. I think it's so fun to ski. And this time we went to this new place, this new mountain in Montana. For anybody who's familiar with Montana, it's up in a town called Whitefish, and beautiful, beautiful place. We went up there, and I told my husband before we got there, I do not want to be put into a position where I have to go down a hill that I'm not ready for. I want to stick to the easier hills as long as I want until I am ready to go down the bigger ones. So here's what happened. Okay. My husband hadn't been to this resort for like 30 years. So obviously it's going to be a little different. He didn't remember it at all. And I had never been there. So we get there, we get on the lift, we're looking at the map going, oh, look, this one says that there's these kind of easier ones to go down. Let's go this way. Great. So we start going up. And we get to the top, and the easier route is nowhere to be found. It is nowhere to be found. There's only these pretty big hills, not like Black Diamond, but still pretty advanced hills. And I was not happy. And my husband is much better at skiing. He grew up skiing. He has skied quite a bit. And so he was like, it's going to be fine. Just do this. Just do it this way. Go this way. Lean in on this. And I was just getting more and more annoyed. Like, this is exactly what I didn't want. I did not want to feel pressured. I did not want to feel pushed. But it was the only way down. And so off we went. Okay. Within minutes, I fall. I'm laying there on the side of this steep mountain, just mad. Like, this is exactly what I didn't want. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to get down to the bottom and I'm going back to the house and I'm done. I'm not going to ski anymore. This is stupid. So bugged, like so bugged. And this was a pretty tall ski lift, so there are several hills you have to go down. It's not just like one hill down. There are several hills you have to go down to get to the bottom. So by the time we get down to the bottom, I had fallen multiple times. And we hadn't even gotten to the bottom yet. And there was this one trail that went off that was an easier trail that finally had like the ratings, the ski ratings, like the lower level that I wanted. And I just wanted a minute. I was frustrated. I was kind of embarrassed. And I just wanted a minute. And so I said, I'm going to go this way. You guys go that way, and I will meet you at the bottom. And so they went their way. I went my way. And here's what happened that was really interesting. I went on this little hill that was very easy. And then I came to this spot where I could continue going down this easy hill, or I could go on a harder one and get to the bottom faster. And I sat there for a minute. I literally sat there, I was on my skis thinking about it, going, which way do I want to go? And I decided that I wanted to go on the harder hill. And I did. And I didn't fall. And I got to the bottom and actually had fun on that hill. And then throughout the day, we ended up going on multiple different new lifts, new places, and I fell lots of times. But by the end of the day, I was a better skier than I was when the day started, 100%. I was a better skier, more confident, proud of myself, feeling good, kind of showing off for my husband of some of the new things that I learned that day. Now, why does this matter? Why does this matter? It matters because you are in a place, we all are, where we have moment-to-moment things that come up, and we always get the choice of how to respond. Many of you listening are in a position where your next level requires of you to step into new ways of dealing with things, new ways of responding to things than you ever have before. You recognize it, you see it. You see that your old way of responding or of getting mad or shutting down or whatever it may be is not only keeping you stuck, it's actually setting you back. It's moving you backwards. It's sabotaging the very growth that you want. You're recognizing that constantly focusing on the affair partner and thinking about them and what were they thinking and being angry and all of that, you recognize that it's holding you back and you feel like there's nothing you can do about it, that it's just beyond my skill. I just don't know how. I don't know how not to. When in reality, the first thing that has to come is choosing not to go there. I'm going to choose something different. For me, what I needed was to be left alone for a minute so that I didn't feel pressured, so that I could really decide how I wanted the day to go, if I was going to go all in on learning some new skills, or if I was going to stick to what I felt was easier and just be okay with that. And sometimes being alone in that place, as I would send my husband off to ski with the other kids that are better than me. Although, to be fair, he did say, he's like, I just want to be skiing with you. I don't care what hills, but I would have sent him off. I would have sent him off to go with the other kids. And we do this to ourselves. We do this to ourselves where we feel like we are powerless. Like, I just don't know how. I don't know how to get down this hill. I don't know how to navigate this moment that feels really, really intense. I don't know how to handle the intense conversation that I'm having right now without spiraling or shutting down or saying something mean or reacting in some way. I don't know how. So I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to go away and I'm just going to say, this is too hard. It's too long a process. I give up. When in reality, when I look at this skiing thing, I know it's very different than what you're dealing with, but there are common themes here. What I needed to be alone. I needed a minute to ground myself so I could choose what I wanted to do. I have learned about myself that I do not like to feel pushed. I do not like to feel pushed. I do not like to feel pressured, but I do like a challenge. But I like a challenge on my own terms. when I am saying yes to a challenge, not when somebody is forcing it on me. Sometimes in relationships, we have these things come up that are very challenging, difficult conversations, difficult things that we need to ask, difficult things we need to talk about. And we might be really upset that we even have to talk about it. We might not like that we have to have this conversation in the first place. And so we can be resentful that we even have to have this discussion and carry that resentment into the conversation, much like I was at the top of that hill. And if I'm being honest, there was a part of me that was blaming my husband, like that it was somehow his fault because he had been there before and I had not. And I thought he should know that I made it very clear, I do not want to go on this kind of hill. I want to go on this kind of hill. And so I was kind of bugged with him, which isn't fair because, as I said, he hadn't been there for 30 years. But we do this and we think, well, if they wouldn't have done this, then I wouldn't have to even be in this position. So I'm just going to be pissed about it. I'm just going to be mad that I'm in this position. The problem here is that we are missing out on our ability to choose how we want to respond and what we want the experience to be. There was nothing that was going to change that I was at that top of the mountain with one way down, right? There was one way down. And that first run down, most of it, I was just angry and feeling embarrassed and frustrated that I wasn't better than I wanted to be. It didn't feel good to fall multiple times and to have the ski patrol person come along and help me get up, right? That didn't feel good. And I decided that I was going to enjoy the day and learn how to ski better rather than going back to the easy hills that were not challenging me. I decided this is a perfect opportunity for me to get better, and I'm willing to continue to fall. It's the same thing in growing our ability to handle triggers, for example. You only think you have no idea what to do. You only think you have no idea how to handle intrusive thoughts. What you're forgetting is your own choice. What you're forgetting is that you can always decide how much power you want to give to something. Okay? It doesn't mean it's not going to come up. It doesn't mean that surprises don't come up, like that there was no easier path down from that point on the mountain. Okay? Sometimes this stuff just comes up and we have no way to control it. It just is kind of there, and then it's there, and then we have so much control. We have so much. The only way that we can control it is to not engage at all and just hold ourselves up and be alone. The nature of relationships is that we're putting our neck on the line to get hurt, to be triggered, to have some experiences that we'd rather not have. That is the name of the game. And it's so worth it. Because when we decide to engage, when we decide to show up, and we go about our life and feel triggered, or have conversations that we feel are beyond our skill level, or have thoughts or memories that feel out of our control, this is when we get to deepen our ability to ground into ourselves, to ground into choice, to ground into truth. Who do I want to be in this moment? How much power do I want to give to this thing outside of me? And how much power do I want to take back? And even if you don't have the skill yet, like I did not have the skill, you can know I'm probably going to fall. I'm probably going to get it wrong, but this is my choice to get better at this. I'm going to choose. Rather than being mad at the trigger, rather than saying, if he or she never would have done this in the first place, I would not be dealing with this. While that may be true, while you maybe wouldn't be having those exact issues, the exact triggers, it is not going to help you in that moment to get down that proverbial mountain. It's not going to help you. It's going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you falling. It's going to keep you resisting. It's going to keep you mad instead of digging in and going, okay, I guess I need to learn a new way to get down this mountain. Now, I want to shift a little bit to talking about the power of our little micro choices. When I was going down that easy little hill that I totally had, that was no problem, and I needed that minute to myself. I needed to get back to myself. back to my own choice. That was part of my grounding, getting out of fear. What I needed was a moment to breathe, to settle down, and then decide. And when we have these moments that feel really intense, there are lots of little micro choices that we are making all along the way. For example, do we let fear take over, or do we breathe and steady ourselves? Do we react from old wounds, or do we choose a response that aligns with who we want to be? Okay, these are choices. Am I going to react in the way I always have? Or am I going to choose to do something different, even if I don't even know how? Not really. I know how in theory. I know what the books say. I know what Andrew's podcast says. I know what her coaching says, but really, I'm not quite sure how to do it. Guess how you learn to do it? By doing it. By actually doing it. Right? For me, what I was needing to learn is how to go down the steep mountains side to side, being able to slow myself down rather than feeling like I need to go shooting down the mountain straight. And so in those moments, it's okay, I need to choose to lean forward, lean back, lean in, panic, breathe, stay stuck, adjust, fall down, get back up, right? When we are navigating the aftermath of infidelity, the same is true. Our responses shape the course of our healing. Our responses shape the course of our relationships and of our future. And most of all, they shape the course of your relationship with yourself. Which version of you will you respect more? The one who continues to be angry that the triggers are there and resisting them and resisting learning how to navigate them, or the person who becomes the boss of their triggers and is no longer run by them. Small choices matter often more than big ones. Why? Because just like adjusting and skiing prevented me from rolling down the mountain and getting really hurt, your small choices in emotional moments prevent further damage. Damage to you, damage to those around you, more that needs to be healed from. A deep breath before responding to a hurtful comment can stop an unnecessary argument. A deep breath before blurting something out. Giving yourself a minute, saying, I'm feeling really intense emotions right now. I'm going to give myself a minute and then I'll circle back. Being able to do that again and again will allow you to circle back with far more intention, and you'll get far more of what you want. Every moment that we ground ourselves instead of reacting impulsively, what we're doing is we are reinforcing resilience and self-trust. And this shift determines whether we stay stuck in old patterns or create a healthier future where we get to enjoy our life more. I'll tell you what, because of that day, I am going to enjoy every skiing trip I go on ever again more. Why? Because I have more skill. I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to be resigned to one small part of the mountain that's for less experienced skiers now. I can go to lots of different mountains and handle lots of different runs because I stuck with it that day and insisted within myself that I get better. It's the same thing with relationships. You growing in this way broadens your horizon. It broadens your ability to have all different kinds of relationships. It broadens your ability to have a kind of future that even if you don't know exactly what it looks like, you know it's going to be good because you know that you can hold a lot. You know that you're expansive. You know that you can hold intensity. You know that you can hold conflict. You know that you can hold standing up for more because you have proven it to yourself again and again and again. You can handle more abundance. You can handle responding out of desire rather than fear. My desire is to be able to ski all over the mountain. My fear was to stick to the easy hills. The difference is deciding and then learning the skill. It is the same for you. Saying, I'm going in. I'm going in on this. I'm done with my own excuses. I'm tired of my own excuses. I'm tired of thinking that my power to handle this lies outside of me. It's all here. This thing may have been set in my lap, the infidelity. I didn't choose it. But I'm going to take full ownership of my own healing and stop waiting for something to happen or waiting for it to get easier. I'm going to learn how to get it easier because I am tired of feeling so narrow, like I can't breathe, like I can't walk down the street without being afraid. I'm tired of it. So, in closing, my challenge to you is to look at the moments that come up where you feel powerless, where you feel like you have no choice, and remind yourself of the choice that you have, the choice that's yours right now. You can choose always to dig in and try something different. You can always dig in and try something different, some different way of responding in the moment. You can always correct. You can always pause and ground and give yourself a second to be deliberate in how you respond. And if you respond in a way that you're not proud of, you can always go back and repair. You can always repair with yourself first and go, that's not who I want to be. I did not want to be the person who was upset and afraid and not enjoying my time with my family because I was annoyed. I didn't want to be that person. And so when I met back up with my husband and he asked me, what do you want to do? You know what I said? I said, I think I want to do that run again. And we did. And I fell a couple more times, but because I knew that I was choosing it, I didn't have the same emotional response as when I felt like it was inflicted upon me. When you know that you're choosing to step into the arena of sharpening your own tools, of sharpening your own skills, of sharpening your own ability to respond, there's something so powerful in that, even if you're clunky at it at first. You're in the arena willing to try something new. You will succeed just by not giving up. All right, that's what I have for you today, my dear listeners. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast. If you would like to be kept in the know about upcoming free classes, new podcast episodes, and other ways of working with me, go subscribe to my weekly email. You can subscribe at AndreaGiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. Again, it's AndreaGiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. I will see you next time.